Hello, guys. Today we are going to talk about formations. Here I'm on the tactics page, which is where you can build your formation. I'm using my reserve squad because I don't want to mess up with my main squad. Okay, so I'm going to show you everything here in this squad. Unlike other games, in Trophy Manager you cannot simply select 4-4-2, 4-5-1, or any other preset formation. You have to build your own. In the past, it was like this with preset formations. But they changed it some seasons ago, some years ago. Nowadays, you can simply put the players wherever you want. When you create your team, it will be like this, I guess. It's 4-4-2, okay? Like this, the standard formation. Then you can make a lot of things here. You can set it like this, okay? You can be creative. You can basically put the players wherever you want. You can even make very weird things like this, for example, and put everything at the back. Okay. Or maybe you really want to play on the sides. You can make something like this. You need an attacker, right? Or maybe you want to be very offensive. You can do this. Leave just one man behind. Okay. But of course, this kind of formation doesn't make sense. This is what I call masked formations. We see a lot of them in the series about my extra team. I think I haven't seen anything this bad, but we see some very mass formations there. Check it out if you want to understand what I'm talking about. The playlist will be in the cards for you. The old fashioned styles are still the ones that bring the best results. You can use things like this, the standard one, for example, 4-4-2. Okay? If you want to be stronger in defense, you can put a defender midfielder. If you want more power in the middle, maybe you play just with one attacker. You can even put three defenders and play like this, okay? These are formations that make more sense. Okay, sometimes I play like this with my team, like this too. But it will depend on what you want. If you want more power on the wings, you can play like this. Maybe you want your team to be concentrated in the middle, not go to the wings at all, or the least possible. Okay, you can set something like this. Okay, or like this. This is how my extra team plays. No, actually I play like this. My extra team plays like this, okay? I don't like this formation much, but this was the best I could do with the very bad team I received. Even when you set formation that seem to make sense, they are not masked like the ones I showed before. Maybe you bring this guy here, for example. It seems still an okay formation, right? Or maybe you play like this. It doesn't seem so bad, right? But even formations like this that look normal, they can bring you some penalties. Any formation will bring you advantages in one side and disadvantages on the other side. Okay, so it's up to you to choose what is worth, what you expect your team to do to decide what formation you're going to use. To make sure that you are not being severely penalized, I would advise you to use the Assistant Manager, which is a tool that I showed you a couple of times already, especially in the series about my extra team. I use it a lot. Then let's go there. Let me show you how to get there. You come to the user guide. I'm opening on a new tab. Then advanced, and you come here to the Assistant Manager. Here you can set the formation you are planning to use and decide whether it is good or not. Okay, for example, the standard one is like this, 4-4-2. You see here the defending bonus, midfield bonus, and attacking bonus you get. In this case, it's all zero. If I bring one attacker back, see, I get a negative bonus for attacking and a positive bonus for midfield. I'm stronger at the midfield now. If I play without back wingers, for example, see, I'm even stronger in the middle, but now I have some negative bonus at the defense. Then it's like this. Any formation you select here will have its advantages and disadvantages, or it can be neutral, like this one. Now let's see what happens when you use a masked formation. For example, let's put everything at the back, as I did before. Everyone at the back. See, it says that you have 2.5 points defending. Okay, but you have -9 attacking and -2 in the midfield. And you have this square here. When you see these squares, it means that you are being severely penalized because your formation is not stable. Understand? It will also happen if I put everyone in front, for example. See, you get the most you can get bonus in attacking, 2.5, but you have -8 in defense and -2 in the midfield. And you have three zones with this red square. See? So it's a big problem. Even formations that may look okay, like the one I set before, let me show you. I think it was like this. Then I put a guy here, for example. See, if you play with only two guys here in this line and no wingers, you will get these red squares. Okay? Let's suppose you put it here to make more sense. This formation doesn't look so weird, right? So bad. But you are being severely penalized. So you get -4 in the midfield if you play like this. Understand? There are some basic rules that you should follow not to get these penalties. For example, if you are playing with a winger at the back, you should have one on the other side too. If you play like this, for example, see if you have red squares because you have one winger in defense and you don't have the other one. If you don't want to use wingers, then you should remove the other one too, like this. Okay? Also, if you play with only two guys at the back, you get a red square here. So if you don't use wingers, you should use three here. In the midfield, the same applies. If you put a winger here, you still have a red square here. Even if I bring this guy to the middle and put other one here. Okay? If you put a winger on one side, you have to put other one on the other side. And it's okay, see? As you just saw, if you keep only two guys at this line, you also have problem unless you put wingers. Then it's okay. If you don't want to play wingers here, you need to have three guys here. Okay? But actually this formation is not so good because as you see, you get -2 in defense because you have three guys at the back and no defensive midfielder. Then you could play like this maybe, which is also not so good because even though the bonuses seem okay, this formation usually don't bring you good results in long term. I even played like this once in the past. I had some good results, but on long term, I didn't get a good outcome. Playing with no wingers at all is not a good idea. You should have wingers somewhere, either here or here. In the midfield line, you still have some flexibility. You can play, for example, like this. See, no red square, like this. But if you come all the way to the defensive line, then you have problems, see? Or if you go to the attacking line, okay? So your wingers, they can play like this, but they should be there. Even if you do like this, you still have the red square here, see? In the attacking line, no, you can put a winger here or here, no problem. You don't need two in this case, okay? Remember in the video about routing line sharing, when I said this is the defensive line, this is the midfield line, and this is the attacking line or offensive line, as you prefer to call. And the players share routing between them. If you didn't see this video and you want to check it out, see the video in the cards. I would advise you not to use formations where you get -2 anywhere. They are usually not good. For example, if you play like this, see you get -2 in defense. Or if you play like this, you get -2 in the midfield. You should avoid this kind of situation. However, there are some formations that bring you severe penalties, but they can still be used because they have proved to work in some situations. It's hard to explain them theoretically, but you can try and see if it works. Some of them have been bringing good results for managers. For example, that is this one, which gives you -3 in the attacking, but it's frequently used. That is also this one that I've seen already. That is this one. Okay, all of them give you -3 negative. But I've seen teams playing with them and they get good results sometimes. But I think they should be used in specific occasions, not all the time. Maybe in the long term it will not give you good results. Out of these three, there could be others, but these are the ones I remember now. Out of these three, this is the only one that I use sometimes. When I play against a much stronger team than me, or when I play against an even team, but the draw is a good result, I use this formation. Most matches end tied 0-0 most of the time, but I defeated quite some stronger opponents playing like this. Here on the side, you can also see the attacking style. If you change here, here it's balanced. If you change, you see the type of chances that your team will try to create, most likely. If I put wings, for example, see, short passing will be the most used style anyway. But if you put short passing, then it will be far more than the others, okay? As you change here, you see how the bars change. This is the type of attacking style your team will use, most likely, and the finishing type, which will be more frequently, with this formation and this attacking style. If I change the formation, everything changes here, see? Like, for example, I can select wings. Okay, I have wing attacks more often because I have wingers, but if I have no wingers, even though I'm playing through the wings, see, the wing attacks will be lower because it doesn't make much sense, right? If you want to play on the wings, you should have wingers. This is common sense, right? You see that wing attacks now are higher. If you want to have more information about each of these attacking styles and also the finishing types, you should go to the user guide. When you come to advanced and tactics, you can find a lot of information. So about each attacking style, say balance, direct, wings. I would encourage you to read it all. It's very important knowledge for you. Okay? Here they talk more about formations and tactics. Read it all. It will be good for you. And it's very good here because they show you, for example, wing attack. What are the key skills your players need to have this type of attack? And also they tell you how to defend against this type of attack. If you see that your opponent plays like this, what kind of formation is better for you to use? What kind of skills do your players need to have? Read it all, and later, if you have questions about it, if something is not clear, ask in the comments. Then I can try to clarify it for you. One more thing that you have on this page are these bars. You have a legend here which show that the red bars say how often this player will be in front to finish. Okay? Like the defenders in this formation, playing through the wings, they will never be there. Only in corners. In corners they could finish. But in normal plays, no. The yellow, the chance for this player to be assisting a goal. And the blue ones, how often this player will be defending. Okay? Like the strikers will never be helping the defense. But if I bring this guy back, see now he helps a bit in defense. Besides using the assistant manager to evaluate your formation, you can also use it to analyze your opponent's formation. to decide what could possibly be the best formation for you to play against his formation and attacking style. Unfortunately, the assistant manager is a pro feature, so only people who have pro can use it. You don't need to spend pro days to use it, but you need to have pro days. Okay? However, I believe that with all these examples I gave to you here, moving players, dragging players here and there, I could show you around the idea and give you tips on how a stable formation should look like. And we should help you to figure out what formation you can use, right? When you have questions and you cannot use the assistant manager, you can come back to this video and check what I said, the examples I gave, and decide what's the best formation for your next match. Okay? If you have more questions, just put in the comment section and I will answer to the best of my knowledge. Let me go back to the tactics page now. This is my main team. Let me go to my reserve team, which is where we were before. In the formation, you see some smiley faces like this. This is because the players are out of their natural position. They cannot play in these positions. Okay, they may play still, depending on their adaptability. But I will make a separate video talking only about adaptability. Here is where you set your captain, your corner, penalty, and free kick taker. Okay, I made a video about it. You can check, it's in the cards now, then you know how to choose these players to put here. Here you have the players who are on the bench, and when you go to advanced settings, you can choose here your mentality. Okay, you can also find a lot about it in the user guide. You should check it out to better understand this. And also the attacking style. Okay, and the focus side is for you to use in case you have a very good player on one of your sides, or maybe your opponent is much weaker on one side. Then you can tell your team to play through that side. Okay, or even to play central. Or you leave balance, then they will play wherever they find more convenient at the moment. Here you have the place where you set your conditional orders, but this is the topic for the next video. I will not talk about it in this video. There is no such thing as the best tactics. When you make a choice, you always gain something and lose something. Depending on the situation, some tactics will be better than others. But this will depend on many different aspects of the game, which you will only learn through experience as you play more and more matches. You can also watch other teams' matches to learn things faster. The analysis I make in my series about the extra team, for example, are good samples where you can start. That's all for this video, guys. If you have questions, write them down below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. See you soon.